Hello and a very warm welcome to today's Totally Beads Live. Today we're going to be making some lovely strung necklaces. We've got two gemstones in these in terms of the components. So I'm working with seed beads, but we also have some gorgeous faceted dyed jade, and we've got some little hematite that I'm using as a spacer. So we've got 6 lovely colours to choose from. We've got 3 on a gold colourway and 3 on a kind of like antique silver. We have a lovely little magnetic clasp, and it's going to be a nice easy stringing project. I will take you over to the website now so you can have a little look at the colours, and if you can let me know in the comments what colour you would like me to work with, then that's what I'll demo. I've got everything out, so you can pick which one you want me to do. I was thinking we could do a bit of a mix of colours as well, because we've got a little offer on for you today. So you can buy your individual colours, or you can do a little bit of a deal and you can get a discount if you want to buy 2 or more kits. So if you'd like to see what 2 particular colours might look like mixed, then we can do that for you as well. So I'm going to say good morning to you while you all come in. Anastasia is wishing me peace and love from the USA. She's in Atlanta, Georgia, and it's very early. It's 5 a.m. in the morning. So thank you for being up with the larks, as they say, Anastasia, and coming to join me. Rachel's in a sunny Barrow. It is sunny today. It was trying to rain this morning. There was a lovely rainbow on the way to school. My little one has gone to the zoo today, like on a school trip. So he'll be very tired by the time he gets home, and then we've got to go swimming. So a busy day for him and a nice day for me, just sitting and making. So let me know, what are you up to, and what's the weather like where you're watching from. Carol's in saying everyone good morning to everyone, or hello to everyone. Jan's in as well. She's in a sunny Sudbury. The sun's really coming out now, so I'll probably have lots of shadows on my desk. Good morning to Anne. Hello to Christine. How are you doing? She's in a sunny Darlington. Lisa's in. Kath's in. Joanne is here. She says the sun is shining very brightly. I mean, they have said we're going to get another cold snap, but I just want it bright. I'm so longing for some sunshine. And these necklaces that I'm going to make today are all year round wears. We've got some lovely colours. They'd be very nice, beachy kind of summer vibes, but also you could wear them in the autumn and any season. We've got a real mix of colours for you. Good morning, Linda. Hello. She's in a bright Watford, and Jackie's in as well. So I'm going to take you over to the website now. Do let me know in the comments, what colour would you like me to demo with today, or is there a mix of colours you would like me to change up? And the design is very straightforward, so it will allow to be adapted to whatever you choose. And if you buy the kits and you do make something with them, then please do share on the Totally Beads Handmade group. I'd love to see. You can tag me in it. I know Lucy's been making lots of kits lately, and she's been tagging me in, so I've been able to have a little look and get to see your wonderful creations. And I've had a couple of emails as well. I had a lovely one off Lasta, who was showing me what she's been making and how she's completely adapted the design. I think it looks completely different from what I originally put together, and I think it looks better than what I originally put together. She's been playing around with kind of shapes and geometric patterns, and it looks beautiful. Hello to Robin. How are you? She says, looking for a quick and easy, beautiful make. Well, you're in the right place. That's what you're getting from me today. I'll do something a little bit more complicated, I suppose. On Monday I've got some lovely bracelets to do with you then, but this is just a nice straightforward easy stringing make, so you get to see a nice professional finish with some beautiful components. So over we go to totallybeads.co.uk, where you can head into the video tutorial section. Lots of different ways to get in there, but I tend to go on the one with either this one or this one here. They both work the same. So if you click into the video tutorials, today I've named this the Kerry Jade necklaces. So you can see here all the lovely colours that we've got for you. Now I've named these the colours of gemstones. They are dyed jade. It isn't amazonite, it isn't black obsidian, it isn't amethyst. But in terms of me being able to explain to the warehouse what colours I chose and what I put together, that's how it looked to me. So this is kind of like a beautiful turquoisey Amazonite colour. It is dyed jade. We've got gorgeous black dyed jade, which looks like black obsidian to me. There's a beautiful deep purple, which very much does look like an amethyst, a dark amethyst. We've got a gorgeous green. We have a lovely red. Say that's kind of borderline. Maybe if I was going to go for a gemstone, it looked like, other than the jade that it is, I'd have said maybe a mahogany jasper. It's got a really deep, lovely colour to it. Could be a very deep cherry quartz colour, I suppose. And then I said this was soda light blue, which is a lovely kind of dark, almost royal blue. So there's 6 lovely colours. They're on 3 different colourways. So the Amazonite coloured one is on your silver findings, as is the purpley coloured amethyst one, and the black one as well, whereas your other 3 are on the gold. So I've got the soda light coloured blue on the gold, the green on the gold, and the red on the gold as well. Now each kit is £8.99, and that's making 2 necklaces up. So of course, if you wanted to, you could make a bracelet instead of the necklace. And you've got enough components in there, but there's plenty in there, so you can, I mean, I'm just stringing the body of the necklace using the seed beads, so these beads at the front are just becoming like beautiful kind of focals. So you can make this to whatever length you want, but there should be enough there to do 2 necklaces. So you're going to get 2 clasps, which are the lovely magnetic clasps. You'll be getting all your culottes and crimp beads and jump rings, all those findings, enough to make 2. And I'm stringing onto Tigertail today. I'm using about 60 centimeters, which is 24 inches per necklace. So there's plenty in the kit. So if you think, I just really love that green colour, then you can get 2 necklaces of the green colour for £8.99. If, however, you want to increase your purchasing today, you might think, actually, I adore the green so much, I want to make 4 necklaces. And in that case, you can buy 2 kits for £15. Or you might think, I really want to mix that beautiful soda light blue with the red, and then again you can get 2 kits for £15. You can increase that again if you wanted to. You can get 4 kits, that would be £30. So make the most of those offers when they're on. But to buy an individual kit with 2 necklaces in, they are £8.99. I will show you how they look a little bit closer. So you can see this is the kind of, it's like a turquoisey blue. It's beautiful. So these are dyed jade beads. They have a slight facet to them as well. So they are quite twinkly and really, really lovely. A nice weighty bead, which isn't too heavy, but stringing on that tiger tail just means we've got that nice strength in there as well. I'm using the Toho seed beads. The colour of my Toho seed beads in this are the opaque turquoise. So they're matching those Amazonite rounds. Really, really lovely. Your sorry, not Amazonite colour. I think I've tricked myself by naming them then. The dyed jade that we're using today is 8mm faceted beads, and the seed beads that I'm using are Toho size 8. You can see there that's your beautiful pitted clasp. But I'm also using Hematite faceted squares, which are 4x2. Now these ones are silver plated, so they're going to match your findings. But then you've got 2 gemstones in there. Look, I think they make the most beautiful little spaces, and I'm just placing them in between, just a few at the front on the focal. So in all, I'm going to need 7 pieces of my 8mm dyed jade. I'm going to be using 10 pieces of the faceted square hematite, and then I'm usually using I think it's about 105 seed beads on each side, and that's for this design. So you're getting everything you need in there, all of your findings, all of your stringing material, and those beautiful beads. So that is the dyed jade in kind of the turquoisey Amazonite colour. So you can see how that looks. A nice comfortable wear as well. And that one is, they're all £8.99. This one is your black coloured one. So again, I've put that with the silver. So you've got those silver kind of plated hematite beads. Again, nice and weighty, but I love the shape with these because these are kind of faceted squares. I just think they look really nice with the slight facet that you've got on the dyed jade there. So that is your black one, which we've named an obsidian type colour. We've got the dark amethyst, which again, it's dyed jade, but if I can hover over there, you can see that's probably a better depiction. I'll show you them down on the mat. It's a very deep, beautiful purple. That's with the silver as well. Again, if you want to know exactly what colour seed beads I'm using, they are the size 8 seed beads. It will say in the description below if you just want to drop down a little bit. We've got the gorgeous green. Really like the colour of those. And I've put that with the gold, so I think they pop very nicely. And you can see I'm going for a Translush Meadow. So they've got kind of transparency to these seed beads. That is with the gold findings, and you can see your dyed jade 8mm faceted round beads there. So just picking out a few components really, just to make a nice focal at the front. This is the red. I'm loving this colour today. So you can see that, I mean, that's quite autumnal to me, but it's just beautiful. It's kind of like a, it's not quite cherry. I suppose it's quite like a beautiful sun-dried tomato on my mat, but here it's looking a little bit lighter. Let me know in the comments, which one would you like me to demonstrate with today? You can see them all on the mat. Do you want me to do a little bit of a mix? No, it's a little bit unusual, but I do think that red would look gorgeous with this blue. This is probably my favourite today, but I always pick the blue, so I would like you to tell me what you'd like me to demo with. So you can see there, the seed beads I'm using are the silver lined sapphire size 8 Tohos, and then we've got a soda light coloured dyed jade in 8mm. Very, very pretty. That is on the gold hematite as well. So all of your kits today are £8.99 to make 2 necklaces, or you can multi-buy if you like and get 2 kits, so 4 necklaces for just £15. So that's the housekeeping done. I'm going to head back into the comments now and have a little look at what you're saying and what you're suggesting that we get making with. So let me just click on that one, and I'll also take you down on the mat as well. If I can get my screen to work, it needs to be on that one. Here we go. So let the comments have a little minute. It takes a little while when I swap screens for it to come back up. Ooh, got some nice colour suggestions here. I tell you what, I'm gonna slide this up so you can have a look at them, and then we can pair them together if you want to mix. Good morning to Judith. Hello to Jan. So Anastasia's saying the dark amethyst, which is this one, and the amazonite. So they would look particularly lovely together. If I can show them up to the camera, you should be able to see a very deep dark colour. I'll move them out the way. We've got Camille popping in. Hello to you. Lisa also, a bit like myself, she always favours the blues, but that red is lovely. I think they'd look really gorgeous together. Don't know. Does that clash? It's each to their own, isn't it? I think what we could do is we could mix up these and then just keep one seed bead, or you could just completely swap them. So you could have the red seed beads against the blue and just keep the jade all as one colour and swap the seed beads round, and just straight stringing on the seed beads. So you could do patterns in them as well. You could do, say, 10 seed beads of the blue and then 1 red, and then 10 seed beads of the blue. You could work it out that way if you like. Mina's saying hello. Late again, forgot the time. Hope you're all right. Joanne says, I'm with you, Natalie. I love blue too, but I'll say black, purple and green. Okay, so you're mixing up all 3. So you'd want these colours together. Nina says she just wants them all. Well, I'm going to use 7 beads in the front. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'd have to use 1 extra on the end if I was using this design. All right. Let me know. Speak now and forever hold your peace. I will show you one by one so you can see them one side. I can just do one straight colour if you want. This is your Soda Light Blue colour. So it is gorgeous to Jade. You can see if I just kind of move them a little bit, you've got that sparkle on there. You've got those lovely hematite cubes as well. Well, they're not quite cubes, they're just kind of faceted squares. And then these gorgeous bright sapphire coloured size 8 seed beads. Anastasia's saying the jade and the red, as in the green jade colour and the red. They'd look gorgeous. Ooh. I'm liking Anastasia's colour palettes. I just want that blue. I just think they'd look lovely. There's no point me saying you choose and then I just override you, is there? Use one of each colour, says Camille. Do you think? Should we go for like a rainbow? Well, I think I'm going to use the gold hematite. Should I do a mix of those? Should we use those 3? This one is your beautiful kind of turquoisey colour. Love that, that's gorgeous. And I think that looks beautiful just all on one, like standalone. All right, I think I'm just gonna play about and see what happens then. This is your gorgeous purple, so you can see how deep that colour is. Okay, so I will put them down on the away from my mat at the moment, just to make sure that we've got a lot of space. Joanne saying sounds like a grand idea. I'll just get everything out then and we'll see how we go. So I have these beautiful seed beads. I've got my gorgeous jade in the red. Right, let's just do all the goldy ones together then. I want my green and I want those beautiful blue. So I'm going to start off by very easily stringing on my beads. So I'm going to take my Tigertail. I'm using a 24 inches, which is about 60 centimeters. It is very curly because I've just took it off my strand, but it doesn't really matter too much. I can work with it like this because I want that curve in the necklace anyway. Sometimes if it's got a proper bend in it, I will run it past through my fingers because of course this is just very thin strands of wire all bound together by that nylon coating. But you can see I've got a very curly piece there on my mat. I'm going to start playing around with the colour of my beads. I'm going to need my gorgeous hematite, so I'm going to cut them off the strands so I've got them to play with. I'll be using 10 of those in total. And you can see they've got the drill hole in the middle and that lovely shape to them. I'm going to need my gold magnetic clasp. Nice easy connection, and I'll be just attaching them on with culottes, crimp beads and some jump rings. Anastasia's saying the jade and the jade red and the dark blue. Okay, let's have a play. Let's see, we might add the odd green in as well. So I'm just going to get everything out. And I'm going to have a little play. Been here a while already and I'm just playing with the beads. So I'm going to place those, I think, around that one. Let's see what it looks like if we add a little green in too. Feel a bit naughty adding 3 colours in because the offer is technically to get 2, so maybe I'll just do the 2 colours. We'll do those ones. Okay, so I'm going to place my beads as I want them to be. I'm going to use 7 of those. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I'll have them spaced like that. And then I'll just move them off to the side because they're now done. But I might be cheeky and add some extra seed bead colours in. So I've got my blue and my red out. Rachel is being asked how she's feeling this morning and is she any better? I hope you're all okay. So I'm going to start by just stranding onto the middle. If I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do with my design, then I tend to work from the middle out. Of course, if you know exactly what you want to do with your design, you can add your findings onto one end. I've got the curliest piece of Tigertail here, haven't I? Do I just cut myself another one? No, I'll persevere. And all I'm going to do is pop my Hematite beads on either side, so they will surround the jade beads. So whatever I put onto one side, I'll put onto the other to start creating that symmetry. I'm just going to put one of the hematite beads in between them until I get to the end, and then I'm going to place 2 on just to double it up. I love these colours together. Quite regal. Or maybe a little bit patriotic. I'm going to add, yeah, I've got the curliest strand of Tigertail here. So you might want a bead stopper if you are working, from one end and just stringing on as you go. If you know your design, then you can start adding the amount of seed beads you need on, work into the middle, and then right through to the other end. But if I'm not sure what I'm going to do with my design or my colours, then I tend to start from the middle, and then I can ensure that I've got that symmetry as well, because I'm just placing on one side to the next. This is the most annoying piece of Tigertail I've ever used. So you can see here, I've just strung them on. They look like sweeties. And then I'm just going to finish off with 2 of the hematite beads either side. So of course, whichever kit you choose, if you do choose one colour, you've got enough to make 2 here, 2 necklaces. You could, if you wanted, make a little bracelet to match instead. You've got all the same amount of findings used on a bracelet as you have a necklace. Findings being your clasp and your crimp beads and clots and whatnot. So I've thread them on, and you can see the twinkle. Anastasia's wanting the green instead. I'll leave it as this. By all means though, whichever ones you get, show me what you've done, because I'd like to see a mix of these colours. So I'm just going to be threading on my seed beads now, just to string up to the back of the necklace. Now what I tend to do is I tend to do them in groups of 10. So I'll put 10 on one side and 10 on the other. And I'm just going to use my Tigertail. I'll move these down in shot. I use the Tigertail basically just like a little needle, just to pick them up off the mat like this. You can, if you wanted, use a bead spinner, I suppose. So I've got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then 10 on the other side. Now you can tell my left hand is my less dominant hand, because I'm picking them up a little bit easier with the other one. They look lovely together. What you can do, of course, if you prefer, you can just pick them all up and then you can measure out how many you've got or place them next to each other, just to make sure you've got a similar size. Now, your Toho seed beads are lovely in the sense that they're very uniform. So however many you put on one side should be pretty much the same on the other. If you've got an FGB seed bead, which stands for fancy glass bead, then they are a little bit more irregular in size, and therefore counting out doesn't always guarantee you're going to have exactly the same space filled on your threading material. So that is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Going to get rid of that one because it's slightly different in size. It's a little bit smaller. Of course, you can just swap over to the hand that's most dominant. So I find it's easier to kind of pick them up in groups of 10, especially if I'm playing around with the colours of the seed beads. So what I'm doing at the moment, because I've mixed the two colours, is I'm just picking up one of the other colour. In this case, this beautiful sapphire blue colour, just for an extra little bit of twinkle in between that reddish one. Oh, thanks, Lisa. She says they look lovely together. So providing I've got the same amount, as I say, you can always just kind of line them up against each other and check. But if you are adding, a differentiating colour in between, you do kind of want to make sure that they are the same amount, because it'll look a little bit jarring, I think, unless you do it completely random. And just pick one up every now and again. So we'll go for another 10. So I'm just picking them up using the Tigertail off the mat, and you can swap over, unless of course you're ambidextrous and you can use both hands. Should we go for a trial? Should we do two at the same time? Yeah, it's not going to work. So you can get a bead spinner as well if you wanted to use it that way, but it doesn't take all that long just to pick them up as I'm doing here. And I'm going to go for another blue. And when you're playing about with seed beads in this way and just using them to directly string, then you can, play around with your patterns and your colours quite easily. If of course you are just using one colour seed bead, then you don't have to be that precise. As long as they've got, roughly the same amount on each side to make your beads in the middle balanced, you don't have to count them out as such. So let's do another 5. Swap hands. So a really straightforward, nice, quick make. But I do love having this dye, Jade. I think it takes the colour of the dye really beautifully. And I'm quite happy with a dyed gemstone. Not everybody likes a dyed gemstone, but if you're selling your makes, as long as people know what it is that they're getting, I think it just enhances as a treatment really to the gemstone. Let's move some more onto my mat so you can see what I'm doing. Again, just take that one out because it's slightly smaller. They're usually fairly regular though. And I'm not going to be too upset if I do slightly miscount. I wouldn't be if I was using all of one colour. Of course, if I am going to add the others in, then I am going to try and get it right. But every now and again, I'll just line it up against each other, and then I can see where I'm going with it. Maybe I'll add 3 blue in this time. What do you think? Keep going with just the one. Could do half as well if you wanted. You could have one side blue and one side the red colour, or whichever colours you've chosen. Or you could do one of each and alternate all the way through. Again, you wouldn't have to worry too much about how many you're putting onto each side that way, as long as you're alternating between the colours. So I'm just swapping ends of the Tigertail. And I feel like I can visually see 5 quite easily without having to count. If I'm picking up 10, then I do feel like I need to check that I've not like just picked up 9 or whatever. But doing it in little groups of 5 mean I can stay talking to you and hopefully don't miscount. Take care, Camille. Have a lovely day. The blue seed beads is making the red pop more now, says Anastasia. Yeah, I think so too. Again, I think that looks very nice. I think those blue almost look like they're lighting up. I mean, I've not got the brightest lights on today. It is nice and sunny outside, but the way they're catching the light is lovely. So the good thing about using the Tigertail as well is, you know, it's sturdy enough and stiff enough to just be able to pick it up my beads up off the table. So when I originally did the design, I counted 105 seed beads on each side. So I'm using 210 seed beads in total. If you're getting enough to make 2 necklaces, you can really see just how many seed beads you're going to get in your kits. And I'm just making sure, so 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Obviously I've got those little blue ones interspersed as well. So I'm just going to work up towards the end of the Tigertail so I've got the length that I want. If you want to make it longer or shorter and have it sit slightly differently, you can just add more or less onto the Tigertail. I do think these would make really pretty bracelets as well, if you want a matching set. You can see it's not taking very long at all to string these on. Anastasia says, Natalie, some that some think dying gemstones will start to fade depending on the person that wears it. The body's chemistry will change it, just like copper will turn green on me. But I know it will clean my body out. Yeah, everybody reacts differently to different metals. Copper's particularly a one. So it's not like it's necessarily bad for the body. Some people do think it actually shows that, your body's in need of a certain kind of vitamin or whatever. But obviously we all have different, it might be affected by different kind of body kind of chemistries like hormones or medicines or perfumes or anything like that. Um, in terms of the dye coming off, unless you're going to put it in kind of like an acetone, that's one way to check if you have got a dyed gemstone. Obviously these are, then you can check it that way. I kind of think it's each to its own. I've got quite a few gemstones which I've got because they've been dyed or treated in a particular way. So I've got a beautiful labradorite, and it's titanium plated to give it a really beautiful red colour. And that, I think, has enhanced it for me. But then I wouldn't necessarily want a dyed labradorite to look blue. So I'd rather just have that natural. So I think it depends on what you want and what what you're going for really, and also the type of gemstone that you're using. So I don't think it would necessarily rub off on your skin, but it is kind of each to their own. I was putting an extra blue one on there. I think I had some valid points I wanted to make, and I can't really remember because I'm counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I'm just going to add this as my last little one now. Good morning, Colleen. I hope you're doing well. Anastasia says, Mina, all of these colours, just use the gold hematite. Joanne says, the blue is really popping. Great accent colour. Thank you, Colleen. That's very kind of you. Judith says, I think my body leaks acid. Takes the gold off gold plated and copper immediately darkens. Do you know, I've got copper earrings that don't turn my ears a funny colour, but I've got sterling silver ones that I do react to more. I don't know, maybe it depends on, certain weathers or sweating, or I really don't know. I don't really think my ears sweat, but then you never know. I think your body probably has some sort of coppers in it anyway, to be honest. Right, I think I'm quite happy with my length. I might just finish on a blue one, just just cause. So when I've got to the end of, you know, the length that I want, what I am going to do, if I've got it to hand, and I was organised, but I've moved so much stuff, I'm just going to find my bead stopper, because there you go. I'm going to pop my little bead stopper on one end, just to prevent those seed beads sliding off while I'm attaching to the other side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get the curve of my necklace. So I'm going to position it down like this, and I'm going to make sure that all my tension on my beads are all nice, so they're all sitting next to each other and there's no gaps and spacing. And then I'm going to get out my culottes. So culottes are my favourite way to finish my piece, my strong piece. It will ensure that I don't have to worry about how I'm crimping my crimp beads, because they're all going to be hidden inside of this little kind of cage here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 2 of the crimp beads on, and that's going to ensure that it's nice and sturdy. And with a pair of pliers, any pliers will do, your chain nose or your flat nose, I'm just going to bring that crimp bead right up to the end of the tiger tail, and I'm going to flatten it down. Or crimp it properly if you want to, if you've got a pair of crimping pliers. You can see I've just flattened those 2, so they've gone from being round, struggling to focus a bit there, to being flat. I'm going to just trim off any little bit of tiger tail that might be peeking out at the end there. And then I'm going to slide my culotte up and over it, so you can see my crimp beads are just sitting nicely inside. And then I'm just going to press it down with my fingers to get these 2 little bits fairly lined up. Then with a pair of pliers, I'm going to gently press over the edges of it, just to close it up. You can see those 2 little holes now perfectly aligned, so I'm going to be able to get my jump ring in, and that also means I can change my clasp quite easily. So if I was to make this necklace and I was to gift it or sell it to somebody, and they said, oh, I don't want a magnetic clasp, I prefer any other type, a lobster clasp or whatever, I don't have to unstring the whole of my necklace. All I need to do is just open up the jump ring that I'm going to attach on and then swap it back over. Joanne says, sterling silver and copper tend to react for me, but also perfume can be temperamental on me. The body is a fascinating thing. It is. I love how we're all very different as well. But yeah, I think if you react to certain metals and you're looking for earrings, then I think the only thing really, the only guaranteed metal would be a surgical steel. But of course you could make your earrings in anything, and then you could just use ear wires as your surgical steel and see if that helps. I do have a ring that I've made, and that's copper. And I really wanted it in copper. I can't remember what it is now. Oh, because of the stone I'd used, I thought it looked lovely with copper. And that does turn my finger green. But you can also get things to treat, like coatings to treat your metals as well. So what I've done is I've now slid all my beads right up to the end of that culotte. And then I'm going to bring that back down. Anastasia's saying, Natalie, can you show us how to use a French wire? I think that's what we call it. It's like a spring wire. Yeah, it absolutely is. I won't do it on this one. I don't know whether it's something we sell totally beads, Anastasia. I'm having a little look in my cupboard because I've got some somewhere which I could show you. I tell you what, I'll get that ready for you on the next live, Anastasia, and I will talk you through it. Yeah, it's like a coil, a very, very thin, very fine coil of I use sterling silver for my French wire, and you tend to put it around your beading thread. I wouldn't really use it with Tigertail, but say if I was using silk, then I tend to use it then, and I will slide it onto my silk and then pop it through my kind of wire guard. Well, you won't need a wire guardian then, you can just put it through your clasp, and then as you bring it back, the wire, which is like in a straight line, kind of curls around, and that acts as a way of protecting your findings from rubbing. If I'm using Macalot, then I don't need that, but I have got some to hand somewhere, so I will definitely show you how to use that. I wanted to do like a pearl knotting live with you, and I was going to show how to use the French wire there, but I don't know whether we've got any in stock at the moment on Totally Beads, so it's not something I've planned, but I will talk you through that at some point. Rachel says, I'm allergic to wearing stainless steel. Are you, Rachel? Well then, there's no hope for you. Yeah, I definitely will, Anastasia. I'll get that for you. It should be in my cupboard, but I need to tidy up. Okay, so I've just pushed that all the way round. So now my beads are in that lovely curved shape that I want for my necklace. And I've popped one crimp bead inside of the clot. The clot's going to be facing up and outwards. Done a lot of chatting today, I do apologise. No, I don't. This is me. Like it all lumpy. You can't be everyone's cup of tea, can you? And then you'd be a mug. So I'm just going to crimp or flatten that one seed bead down, and that's not seed bead, crimp bead, and that's holding it in place. But I want to make sure it's extra sturdy, so I'm just going to go in with an extra one because there's enough space inside of that clot for two. So you can see I've popped that one, and then again just with my pliers, if I can get this nice and close, you should be able to see. I'm just pressing that down flat. So if one of the crimp beads fails, the other one should be good to go. These beads aren't too heavy, and especially because the predominant majority of it is the seed beads, it's a nice light wear. I'm then going to come in with my cutters and I'm trimming off that excess tiger tail. And then again, I'm closing down around the crimp beads, trying to make sure that they're lined up before I put a little bit of pressure on it just to close that over. So it's giving that nice professional finish. Sheila's saying if you cover copper with a plain clear nail varnish, I've heard it helps. Yeah, well, it gives it that coating. You can get like, I think it's called Renaissance wax as well. Often when you patina something, like if I patina my metal, like my sterling or my copper, it can bring out, if I'm doing wire work, it'll bring out the weaves. I prefer it nice and shiny, but then you just polish it back. But you can coat it in like I think it's called a Renaissance wax, and that can prevent it as well. I just think after a while with nail varnish, it kind of flake, so it's not something that I've tried. But I do use nail varnish for like ending stretchy bracelets and you know, as like a jewelry glue sometimes. You can also use these culottes as knot covers. So if you didn't want to use a tiger tail and a crimp bead, and you were using maybe like a thread or a silk, you can double knot inside of that culotte, and it works just the same as well. So what this means is none of my findings, the metal's not going to be rubbing against each other. And as I say, I can then just swap that clasp over very easily by just opening up that jump ring and attaching a different one. I'm using the lovely magnetic clasp today, so to attach that onto both sides, I'm opening up my jump ring, getting plenty of that surface area and giving it a little twist towards me. I'm not opening it too much, just a little bit, just enough to get the ends of the culotte inside, and then I can attach it to the end of my clasp, and then twisting it back in the opposite direction. So I'm just turning it towards me and then away for it to me to close, and make sure that's perfectly lined up. and then my necklace is done. So in your kit today, you're going to get enough to make 2 necklaces using that lovely jade and those beautiful faceted hematite. They're called the Kerry Jade necklaces. They're £8.99 for each kit. Each kit makes 2 necklaces up in whichever colour that you choose, whether it's the kind of Amazonite turquoise, the black obsidian looking jade, the dark amethyst coloured jade, the greeny green jade, the red jade, or the soda light blue. This is all dyed jade. They aren't any other gemstones other than the lovely dyed jade that we've got. I've just named them as so because they kind of take on the properties, I think, in my head of what those other gemstones look like. So although I've named this blue soda light blue, it's not soda light. So they're all £8.99, or you can get 2 for £15 if that's what you like. So that's our lovely necklace today. Head over to totallybeads.co.uk, and we ship worldwide. So if you want to get your hands on those exact kits, or you're just looking for a little bit of inspiration, head over and have a little look. Before I go, I will show you what I'm doing on Monday. I'm making these lovely little bracelets. Got lots of colours for you. Really nice, straightforward make. They're not that complicated to do, but I think they've come out quite nice. So you can see I've got 2 of the lovely colours in each of the bracelets. So whether you're after a beautiful kind of browny coffee colour, or you want to go for this little number, then I've put those together and we'll be doing them on Monday. So lots of lovely colours. That's your little sneaky peek. What did I call these bracelets? Jacqueline, I think I called them. It's a bit like a raw, like a right angle weave. They're really straightforward to do. I think I have to remind myself on what I did before Monday. Anastasia, you're so very, very welcome. She says, thank you for the tutorial and the necklace is beautiful. Jan, thank you. She says, thank you for another amazing tutorial. Well, that's very kind. No, what's gone on there? I don't know whether it really was amazing, but we had a bit of fun, didn't we? Well, I did anyway. Thank you so much for joining me today. Joanne says lovely colours. So yeah, have a lovely week, everyone. I'll be back with you on Monday. We'll be doing those bracelets if I've got the schedule in my head right. And I will look forward to seeing you then. Have a lovely rest of the week. Hope everything's treating you well. Hope the weather's all right where you are, and I hope you get to make some lovely things and have a great weekend as well. So I will see you all soon. Take care, everyone. Bye.